Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back, and today we're going to be looking at the 4.0 update. As you can see, we're surrounded by fun new toys that we all get to play with in this one, so it's going to be exciting. So why don't we just go over the new toy changes first, and then we can look at some of the update changes. So these are the main toys we're looking at right here. Not a crazy amount of stuff, but some neat new things. So the Doosan DX225LL, sorry. Big thank you to Jackson Elf, who was the guy who did most of the purchasing of this model, and then we just put it together after it got done. But oh my goodness, it turned out great. So big thank you to Jackson. Everybody scream his name into the crowds. Woo! So yeah, it turned out amazing. Awesome machine. A lot of guys have been looking for the Doosan. Now I know that they have been rebranded to Devlin, which is a new company that they've been rebranded to, but this was Jackson's request. He wanted the old school Doosan one, and I love the old school Doosan ones as well, so I am more than happy to oblige for that. So that is the new Doosan. I think you guys are going to like it. It's actually got a really nice little cab. It's not like, there are bars, but they're not like hindering to the visibility. Like, it's still pretty easy to see out. Lots of visibility in the windows, and actually looks pretty sweet. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Looks beautiful. I think you guys will love it. And while we're here, attached to this thing is also the new Dangle Grapple. So we have this new Dangle Grapple. It's called the Dangle E Grapple, as in extra logs that it can hold or something. I don't know. I don't know why E, but we got E. That's how it is. So this is the new Dangle Grapple E. It is. It's been requested by a few people to make this version. It's basically similar to the one that we have on the forwarder. It's pretty much identical to the forwarder one, just a larger version of it, and it's great for unloading, loading, shorts, whatever you want to do with it. It's super fun. So for those that really wanted that one, there she is. It's all in your world now. Next up, we have the Clark. Oh my goodness, the Clark 880 Ranger has returned. This was also a huge requested monstrosity of a machine. So this is a huge skidder, beautiful skidder. This one is a near and dear to my heart because a family member, a grandpa, had one of these exact skidders. So it's one that I really wanted to get built again. It was built in FS22, so I've redone the model and restructured and redid and retextured and did all that fun stuff, and it turned out really good. Beautiful, beautiful looking machine. So this one is fitted with a cable winch. So if you go up behind this guy and hit R, you will have your cable that comes out, and you can hook that sucker onto whatever you want to pull your trees. And it is an absolute monstrous beast. This thing is brutal. So you can go up some monstrous hills and you can carry some insane skids. Also has the chains on the tires with the chain sound effect, which is pretty dope. I think you guys will really like that. Fun skidder to go adventure with, but it's huge. As you can see, it's a very large skidder, so you can take it over some rough terrain. It's got like crazy good clearance on those tires, so you can go up some like wild terrain and have a good time. Extra wide blade on it too for pushing logs and doing all that fun stuff. Yeah, the Clark is a beauty. I love this machine. It's one of my favorites. The other extra thing that we've added is this truck. It's not really new. It's an in-game truck. So this is the Mac Super. I think that's what it is. Yeah, the Super right there. So we have turned it into an FDR version. So it's got the same torque, the same weight, the same everything as the other FDR truck. Just it's been upgraded. We've added the headache rack onto the back here. Yeah, tires, everything's been upgraded so that you can haul the trailers and equipment and whatever you need. This one just comes in black. The original Superliner in the game has some like different paint schemes and stuff like that, but this one's just black with the golden kind of liner lines and lining on it, which I think actually looks pretty sweet. But man, yeah, it's a pretty snazzy looking truck. I really do like it. So I did have lots of requests from people to build a new vehicle. Well, I don't really do trucks myself. Like, I don't build them in the game. But I did take this one out of the game and I beefed it up. So it gives you guys another option. So hopefully that'll make some people happy. And if not, well, I'll just keep building more stuff until you are. Eventually, I'll get you. So yeah, those are the 4 new toys that'll be in this update. I think lots of people are going to have fun with this stuff, especially the Doosan. I know lots of guys are drooling over that one, so it'll be pretty fun. So that's the new toys. Let's go over the updates and changes. So let's go all the way out to the block here. Perfect. This is right where I want to be. So changes again. Good changes. The reason I get feedback all the time from people going, why do you keep changing it every single time? Why do you change it every single time? So what I'm doing is I'm taking feedback from my Patreons, from the supporters, from the crazy amount of bug reports I get, which I love. Keep the bug reports coming, but I get lots of bug reports from people, and I review all of it, and I look at it, and I test it, and I try it, and I want to always be constantly improving things to the best of my ability, right? But every update, sometimes things change. Usually for the better. In this case, I think it's for the better. If not, we'll see. But I got to trial it out on you guys too, right? So I can be 100% happy with something, but you guys might be like, oh my God, that's garbage. And if enough of you think something that I like is garbage, then I'll go look at it and be like, okay, maybe I'll change it back because a lot of people hated it. But overall, I feel like we're smoothing things out in the right direction. So again, changes. There's been changes. So the logs. So we've again adjusted the log frictions, the log physics basically, and played around with them a little bit to give them a little bit more friction than before, because some people were finding they were still a bit too slippery. So they're a little bit more friction, but I didn't add enough friction that they're really hard to load. Because if they have too much friction, they kind of stick together, like when you're trying to load them, and it's really difficult to move the logs. So I've added just a little bit more, but not enough to be horrible. Just a little more stable would be the way to do it. Also, all the logs, all the trees, everything, the weight of the trees has gone down by 10%. Now that number might be arbitrary to you, and you might not have a clue what that means, but so they are 10% less weight. And the reason I've done that is because the changes in the frictions and the trailers and some of the weight stuff has actually allowed me to bring that weight down a bit to still gain the same amount of friction control, to put it easily. Also, this allows people that are using other equipment or in-game equipment to have a little bit of relief there too. That's not why I did it, but it's a kind of just an added bonus. So if you're somebody who likes to use the in-game equipment or modded equipment that's using weights equivalent to the in-game stuff, then this will be a bonus for you. The trees will be easier to handle. Still not as easy to handle as obviously using the FDR stuff, but maybe it'll give you a bonus. So I'll give you a little demo here. Just get my foot pedals attached. Okay. So again, if you're picking up logs, it is still very doable. Oops, if I can actually figure out how to get in my pile. I'm probably on top of a stump or something here. This is a great start. There we go. Perfect. So as you can see, still grabs fine. You can still pick them up. They don't really have problems. You can still pencil them to a degree and flip them around and turn them. And with the new added lack of weight, the 10% difference, your loaders are going to respond a lot easier to these logs. They won't tip over as easy. That was another complaint. I get that complaint on every update that the machines are still too tippy. That can be due to people using high sensitivity. That can be due to people just handling the logs like crazy. So I dumbed them down just a little bit more to hopefully adhere to that complaint. So again, I'm going to flip this off track and we're going to have a look here. So in real life, if you extend that far out, you should be a little tippy. I don't even know if we will be that tippy. I don't think we'll be tippy at all. A little bit. You get like a little bit of tip if I really just gun it. And that's very realistic. You want to be a little bit tippy to have a little bit of realism. Not to the point where your whole machine's falling over, but a little bit tippy. So again, as you can see, it holds really well. The logs still wiggle around because, that's just the way this engine works, but pretty stable for the most part. Again, dumping them into trailers and stuff. They still seem to pack down well. They roll nicely together, but there's just that little bit of added friction when you're handling them. It just keeps them a little bit more friendly in the grapple while you're working. Especially if you're spinning side to side or doing any kind of crazy stuff. But again, they are realistic, and logs in real life slide. So if I open my grapple and I tilt these, they're going to slide. That's what they're supposed to do. In real life, they do that too. No matter how dry they are, if you give enough space, they will slide. So I want them to still be pencilable. As you can see, they still stick a bit. See that one that's sticking up there a little bit at the top? Sometimes you got to go like this and do another pencil. I've had to do this in real life with dry wood too, where you drop it again. And you still, see, we still got one in the middle. It's a little sticky there. I'm not going to go chase that one piece, but as you can see, they roll down nice into the piles. They settle quite nice. I think this will help people who are multiplayer as well, because we've had some feedback about the logs being slightly slippery in multiplayer still. So this is a bit more. I can't go much more friction-y than this, though. This is the max I want to make it for friction, because any more, and I tested like down to the 0.01s of adding more friction to this, and if I add more than what we have right here that you're seeing, they just stick together way too much. And you may have instances where they stick together even now a little bit, but it feels pretty good. And as you can see from me handling these, it's not too terrible. We don't have any major issues that we've run into. And the grapple is good for this too, so I'm going to go over the grapples here now as well. I think that's next on my list. Dangle grapples was one of my comments here. Fixed the right claw that was closing faster than the left claw. So on the forwarder, the grapple that would close, one side of the grapple would close faster than the other. That was an old technique I tried a long time ago, and I forgot to correct that. So now they close at the same time. So when you close your claw, these should be pretty much simultaneous with each other when you're closing them hydraulically. Logger Mac. So on the Logger Mac truck, which is not the one you were just looking at, but the other truck, there was an issue where the top of the headache rack would turn brown, and that was due to dirt stuff. So that's been fixed. It doesn't turn brown anymore for anybody who sent that bug report in. All of the grapples. So this is every grapple, all the grapples everywhere. All these fixed head grapples, including the other grapples, have a much more strength when they're closing, and just some altered physics to go with the new logs. So you'll find they might bite a little harder on the logs when you're closing, but this is a good thing, especially with the new physics. You kind of need that. So if you're biting into a pile, just be gentle. Don't just like hold down the button and slam it. Tap it in. Tap, 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 tap. Lift your arm. Tap, tap, tap. See how they kind of jump up a little bit? That's kind of the way to do it. But if you're going to go into the piles and just slam them, you might have some ricochets here. So I'm just going to slam it. See how it kind of bounces and jumps a little bit? Well, that wasn't too bad, but sometimes if you do it a little aggressively, you can. So I'll just be aggressive as hell here and see if I can break it. So you see how they kind of snap? The claws snap too. And it's funny because in real life, I use a grapple at my one job that I have there on the machine, and I laughed because I tested it by accident. So what I was doing is I'd close on something, like an actual piece of, I didn't have a log at the time, but I had a piece of concrete. And if you have that under tension from your hydraulics, as soon as you slip and it gets grip again, it actually does launch shut like this. See how when I push it down, it's going to go whooshing, whoosh. See how it snaps like that? In real life, it actually does that, which is pretty cool because I thought it was just like, I'm like, oh man, it looks so dumb in this game because I glitched it out. But it's not. It does that in real life, and it's kind of crazy. So if you have it under tension and pressure, if it slips, it'll actually like ricochet shut. Maybe not as violently as this game, but it does do it where it's like, whoosh, and it makes a real cool slapping sound. Anyway, just some fun hydraulic talk for you guys. So yeah, as you can see, they're handling quite nicely. They're settling on the ground quite nicely while you're working with them. I've basically every machine has had a rework in terms of that. Same with the processor. So this is the Axis Rebel for an example. Oh, love that head. Beautiful. This one has had a bit of a rework for its weights as well. So you'll find it actually runs the trees a little bit easier, a little bit better. Same when you're processing, when you're running out lengths and stuff. With the new physics, the trees do settle quite nicely on the ground while you're building your piles and stuff. And it's also really easy to chuck those tops as well. Oh, except I don't have the thing on. So normally it's easy to chuck those tops. Left shift X. There you go. Bloop. But they will run a lot nicer in these heads if you're doing manual running. Also, that's something to do with the friction and a little bit of the weight stuff and some alterations I made to these beautiful processor heads. So, yeah, that's it. That's everything. That's all the fun stuff. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the videos comments here. If you have a problem or a bug or a problem that comes up while you're playing, anything at all, www.fdrlogging.com/bug reports or bug report. bug reporting. I can't remember. You guys will figure it out. Go to fdrlogging.com. It's on there. Right on. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. We will catch you in the next one. See ya.